everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Victoria here if you are new, and today I am bringing you guys a Q&A. So I haven't actually done a Q&A in like a super long time. I haven't really been very active on YouTube. Even social media, I've been kind of not as active in the last year, so that's something I kind of want to get back to. So I did ask you guys some questions on Instagram, and I'm going to answer as many questions as I can without this being super long or super boring. So let's get to it. I feel like all the questions are about therapy, but that's good because I feel like I like to chat about that stuff and share my experience. But this one is the most valuable thing you've learned from therapy. So I kind of had to reflect on this question because there's been so many things, and I feel like kind of depending on where I'm at in my life and like what I'm dealing with in therapy, certain things stand out more than others. I think when I think of it like as in this last year and a half of consistently doing therapy, there's like a few things that come to mind that I find very valuable and that have been like really helpful. So the one piece of advice that my therapist gave me was that a huge windstorm or like a tsunami or something, it can blow your entire house down and everything you have within your house. So you're basically where you're living and your life as you know it in that particular moment of time. But what it doesn't blow away is your foundation. And your foundation is really what made that strong to begin with. And when you have a strong foundation, you're able to rebuild and you're able to regrow and you're able to recover from whatever damages have been done. And you're able to do so in a way that you get to almost start fresh, and it's an opportunity to make it differently or the things you were maybe wishing you had before, you can add those. So I feel like that analogy, I just felt like it really put clarity to my life, knowing that like regardless of what happens and what you lose or what you go through in your life, you still always have the foundation, and the foundation is you. And having that allows you to continue to build and to grow and to move forward and to always, I guess, get through what you're getting through. Regardless of whatever's happened, you still have the really, really core important part. And that's all that really matters, because often there's things that can happen, but as long as you have that core part within you and like that foundation, you're able to continue living and growing and rebuilding and moving forward with your life. Okay, so that's one thing. A second thing that I would say that's very valuable, I can't speak, is I think oftentimes we don't really understand, or we underestimate the strength that we have as human beings within ourselves, how versatile we are and how resilient we are. So I think that it's something that's taught me is that like you are so much stronger than you ever could really even comprehend. And often it takes you to go through, really hard times to find that strength. And being able to see you, show that strength and use that strength is so admirable. And it's something that's going to get you through things in the future, because there's always going to be really hard things that you're going to face in life. Life isn't always, smooth sailing. So there's probably going to be other obstacles and challenges. But when you have that, experience of like this type of strength that you've shown before in the past, that like whatever comes your way or whatever's thrown your way, you will be able to handle it again, because you do have that strength, that really, really, really strong strength that you didn't even realize you have. So that was another piece of advice. And the third piece of advice is, regardless of how you feel, how you think, maybe what someone's told you or how someone's made you feel, you are worthy of love. You are worthy to be happy. You deserve love and you deserve happiness. And whether it comes from, especially it needs to come from within, but also you deserve happiness and love around you as well. So I think just hearing those things and acknowledging that like a lot of times we feel deep down that, we're not lovable or that we're not worthy of these things. And working through those feelings and those negative self-beliefs and allowing yourself to really feel like, no, you know what? You are worthy of those things. And truly working on allowing yourself to believe it, and then allowing yourself to, accept it. How do you feel about being vulnerable on social media? So I feel, I feel like this depends on kind of where I'm at in my life, how I'm feeling about myself, and how much I'm really willing to show up online. In the past, I've felt it to be easier to be vulnerable, and I found strength through my vulnerability through social media. But the last year, with just dealing with like a lot of stuff that I just didn't feel comfortable with disclosing, or really, I just still was working through so much stuff on my own. I felt it was like a lot harder to be vulnerable. I feel like it was something that was harder for me to do, and that's probably why, if you've noticed, if you follow me closely, I have shared kind of less in the last year regarding just like my life, mental health, and everything, just because I've personally found it harder. But with a vulnerability, you're opening yourself up for, I guess, people to criticize you more, and they're criticizing things that are quite deep. So it can be hard, but if you feel that what you're doing and why you're sharing it, and if you find strength in your vulnerability and the messages you're sharing, I find that that kind of feedback doesn't necessarily impact me. Obviously, there's still certain things that do. I'm not bulletproof, and I'm a sensitive human being, so I feel like certain things still do, but I feel like it's allowed me to have more strength in myself and like what I'm going through, and it's also allowed others to, you know, be able to relate and, I guess, help them. So it's always been what I think of as something like beneficial, that for not only myself but for the people that are able to read it and, you know, find comfort in what I'm saying. Have you ever visited Italy? So I have not. My dad is actually Italian, so his whole family is from Italy, and it's definitely on my bucket list. Obviously, we haven't been able to travel for the last couple of years. I'm not entirely sure when we will really be able to travel, because I don't really want to be traveling during COVID and just with the measures and the restrictions and everything in place. But I think hopefully, maybe not this summer, but the following summer might be a goal for when I can finally go to Italy. It's been like my dream vacation. Every time people ask me like, where's your dream vacation? I'm like, it's either Italy or Hawaii, but if I have to choose one, it's definitely Italy. So I definitely plan to go there. Just, I don't know when. What is your favorite part about being an aunt? So being an aunt has been one of the most like incredible experiences. It's actually been one of the things that have really brought me like a lot of happiness and joy in the last year. And I think what it's shown me is just a level of unconditional love. Like I mean, even just for myself, not even being like a mom, but just as an aunt, I just love this little baby so much. And I think it's also shown me, it's given me a new admiration for my sister, because I've seen her just really become this beautiful, like strong woman through motherhood. And I just have like so much admiration because she's so great at it. And like sometimes I'll look at her and I'm just like kind of in awe. Like, this is my little sister, and like now she's a mom and she's just doing such an amazing job at it. So I think it's giving me a new level of appreciation for moms and kind of like the process of it, and also my sister, and just being able to experience like, you know, this little human growing. And it makes me excited for when I get to experience that for myself. But I think it also makes me realize that like where I'm at in my life right now, yeah, I can't be having children anytime soon. There's still a lot of things I need to work through and get sorted before I can really embark in that journey for myself. But it's definitely been a very rewarding and exciting experience. And she's so freaking cute. Have you seen pictures of her? I'm biased, but oh, she's cute. I feel like this question got asked a lot, so I'm going to answer it. And it is, how did you meet your new boyfriend? So we actually met through Instagram. Surprise, surprise. And we were just like kind of chatting just as friends for the first little bit of time. I obviously wasn't looking for anything. I don't really think he was either. It was kind of just like, you know, we were communicating on a level of like friendship, and just like we got along really well, and like we had good communication, and like we would talk about things, and it just felt really nice to like talk to someone. But yeah, I guess as time progressed, it kind of developed into something more, which I think is a nice way for it to kind of happen. And yeah, now we're here. So that's basically the gist of it, but yeah. Okay, mental health tips as we are approaching the winter and dealing with less daylight. To be honest, this is a time of year I quite struggle with, just like many people, because I'm used to the sun and being able to be outside, and like I feel like in the summer I see my friends a lot more, and there's just a lot more socializing going on, and then it kind of fast forwards to like a gloomier type weather, and like the season, you know, the season's changing, like you said, the sunlight becoming less and less. But some of the things that I feel like I try to do that kind of help me is kind of continuing up with my like self-care stuff. So, you know, still going to my therapist and like, you know, making sure I'm prioritizing like my mental health, still incorporating exercise. I feel like sometimes during this time of year, my motivation and like desire to want to work out is a lot less, but reminding myself that doing those things helps me and makes me feel really good. Like I'll kind of be dreading it, and then I'll do it, and then I feel great afterwards. And I'm like, I have to just kind of like push myself to get started, and then once I'm going, I enjoy it, and after I feel really good. Making sure that you're still like keeping up with, you know, your friendships and your relationships. So don't isolate yourself. I know often like when I start feeling a little bit down, I tend to like push everything away, which feels good in the moment, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not helpful, and it actually is going to isolate you, make you feel worse. So I feel like just trying to keep doing the same things that you normally do, even though it feels a lot harder, but those things are going to help you kind of stay out of that rut as much as you can. I know a lot of people, and I haven't used in the past, Happy Light, so you're going to probably want to start using it about now. And it's supposed to kind of give you that artificial sunlight for like a longer period of time. So as the natural light is becoming less and less, you're still providing yourself with like this artificial light that's trying to like trick your system. I feel like I've seen benefits when I use it consistently, but you have to use it consistently. But yeah, I just think really try to stay with your routine and keep doing the things that you normally do, even when it's a lot more difficult. So you kind of have to push yourself. And usually that helps me like not fall so slumpy into like a deep rut. But I still feel like I do, and my mood still goes down, but I just try to, like I said, put effort into those things to make sure I'm still doing those things. Do you have any tips to help trick the body into liking and wanting to eat vegetables? So for me personally, I just try to eat vegetables that I actually enjoy. There's ones that I just don't really particularly like, so I just don't force myself to eat those. And I find ways to incorporate vegetables that make it like tasty and enjoyable. So I like to like have big salads. I love salads, and then you can put, you know, your leafy greens and stuff in there and kind of get your vegetables in a way that like doesn't taste like you're just eating vegetables. I love stir fries, so I'll put my broccoli and cauliflower and I'm blending it with rice and soy sauce and chicken. I'll do like roasted vegetables, so I add some olive oil and seasoning. But yeah, I kind of do ways that it's like it's all combined, so it's not like I'm just specifically eating the vegetables on the side. Unless it's green beans, I feel like if I add butter and salt, I can just eat green beans on the side. And I particularly do like quite a bit of vegetables, so it's never been like a huge problem for me to get them in. But I've always found like consistently over time getting them in, the best bet is to just kind of incorporate them into like meals, so you're not just eating it at a particular time. And also green supplements really beneficial if you feel like you can't get your veggies in or your greens in. It's a way to get it in. But I always like to say like real food is better than any kind of supplements, but it's still really good to add something like that in, especially if you're not someone who gets a lot of vegetables in. How do you get yourself motivated for home workouts if you absolutely hate them? So I try not to do workouts I hate, because like most people, I just won't do them. Like if I'm dreading having to work out, especially if I'm working at home, which sometimes can be a little bit more difficult than going to the gym, I try to make sure I'm doing workouts that I actually enjoy. So I think it's about finding like the type of movement and exercise you enjoy versus like, okay, this is the program I have to follow, or this person's doing this, so I should follow that, or I need to do a traditional bodybuilding style workout. So like, it doesn't need to be a specific type of workout. Movement is movement, and movement is good for you. So if you can find something, regardless of what it is, maybe it's just dancing for an hour, or like, you know, you just like to go for a walk. It doesn't have to be something so traditional in a sense that it has to be like a structured workout. It can kind of be whatever you enjoy. And if you enjoy it, you're not going to feel so much dread. Of course, some days you're still not going to feel the motivation. You're probably going to be like, I don't really feel like doing this. But if it's something that you usually quite like, you're more inclined to actually do it than something that you actually hate. So I know for myself personally, I don't do stuff I hate. I just train how I want to train now. I'm sure there's ways that I could be training that are more effective if I wanted to get better results, for sure. But at this point in my life, and what's important to me is just moving my body, because it makes me feel good and it helps me just live a better life. So I'm going to do workouts that allow me to continue and be consistent with my fitness versus like things that I have to do. So I think start testing and trying different types of exercise you like, and find something that works with you, and focus on making that something you do at home. So I still feel like I get a lot of questions kind of asking what happened between me and my ex. And I know with like a relationship being public and on social media for a very long period of time, it spikes curiosity, and like people want to kind of know what's going on and what happened. We have been not together for over a year now, and I don't plan to address it in any which way. I just feel like that's all that's really relevant to everyone, is that we are no longer together. It's been quite a period of time now, and yeah, I'm just trying to keep that chapter of my life in my past and continue moving forward. So I feel like as much as there's so much curiosity to like kind of know what's been going on, I do appreciate the people who do respect privacy in that regard, and also like allowing me to just continue moving on with my life without always having to bring that up. But I do understand, so I am understanding in a sense, but I'm ready to kind of just keep moving forward and allow myself to do content and, you know, show myself without that always being brought up or always attention being brought to that, and just allowing me to like become my own person. So yeah. How are the pups doing? So the pups are doing great. They're crazy as ever, but they are doing really well. And yeah, I feel like I don't post them as much anymore. I gotta start taking more photos. I do take tons of photos of them. I just don't seem to share them all on Instagram anymore. But Otis, Atlas, they're doing good. They're both healthy. They're both crazy. And I love them. How often do you wash your hair? So I wish I was one of those people that could just like wash it like once every week or 2 weeks. But my hair often I have thin hair, and it's very fine, so I feel like it gets greasy quite fast, especially if I'm working out and stuff. So every 2 to 3 days I try to wash it. I wish I could do less, but I feel like after like 2 days it gets quite greasy. Then I can usually get away with like a little bit of dry shampoo. Ideally like 2 times a week is like, I feel like the best type of combination for me and my hair, and like just because I get lazy doing it. But yeah, typically 2 to 3 days. I wish I could do like once a week, maybe eventually. I have body showers, don't worry. I still like shower, just not my hair. So I feel like I answered like a good portion of the questions. I don't want to make the video too lengthy. The last thing I was gonna finish off with, that no questions, just pumped for more content. So I'm excited to give you guys more content. Like I said, the last year it's been hard for me to show up online and to really give you guys my all and feel confident and comfortable with what I'm sharing. So I feel like now that I'm getting back to a place where I have more confidence in myself and like what I'm doing, I'm able to show up more online and like do things. I'm still not where I really want to be in terms of those things, but I know it's like a process, like everything in life. So if you're not where you want to be with your confidence or things like that, don't worry, because it's a process and one step at a time. But I think me trying to get back and sharing more about myself and my life is going to be good for myself, and also with connecting with everyone else around me. And I feel like sometimes I just get sucked into the comparison cycle of everything, and I get consumed with what everyone else is doing around me, and I forget that like this is me and my journey, and I have to just continue focusing on like what I can do for myself and like what my life is going to be and like what my purpose is. It's not what everyone else is doing, it's just what, you know, I can do, what makes me happy. And I think sometimes we get very consumed with other people, and in that like, you know, cycle of comparison, that we forget to like look at ourselves and realize we're doing a lot better than we think we are, or what we're doing is enough, and, you know, being proud of ourselves. So yeah, I feel like that's where I'll end this video. I hope you guys like the Q&A, and I'm gonna do more moving forward. I know a lot of people want to just see like typical vlogs, so I want to do that, and also like a day of eating, so I've kind of planned to do that. But yeah, thank you guys if you chose to watch this video, and I hope something from it was insightful, and I will see you guys next time.